Welcome viewers. So if you are watching for the first time, follow my page or you subscribe and make sure you also like. So today we want to consider a topic which is surd. Surd is subset of irrational number, or can we just say surd are irrational numbers. So for better understanding of what irrational number is, so I will quickly recap what classification of number entails. So in number system, we have what we call natural number. Natural numbers are just counting number. The least among the natural numbers is 1. So normal counting number. So when you are counting, so you start from 1, the next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is what we call natural number. Natural numbers. So they are natural numbers in the sense that they are normal counting number. So the least is 1. Then another one after natural number is what we call whole numbers. Whole numbers is just set of natural number together with 0. So now whole numbers. So it starts from 0. The least is 0. Then you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is how you continue. Then after whole numbers, we have what we call integers. Integers, they are set of positive and negative whole numbers. They are a set of what? Positive and negative whole numbers. Meaning, this set of whole numbers, all these are positive. Once I include the negative part, it becomes integers. Integers, they are just positive and 0 is not negative, is not positive. 0 is just neutral. So now 1, which is positive, then you have -1, 2, -2, 3, -3, and this is how it continues. So the highest is positive integer, the least is negative integer. The highest is positive infinity, the least is negative infinity. Then after integer, we also have what we call rational number. Rational number are a set of numbers that can be expressed in the form of p over q, where p and q are integers, but your q is not equals to 0. Your q cannot be 0, because once this equals to 0, you have undefined. So that number does not exist. So because of that, we say rational number. Rational, any number you can express as a fraction is what we call what? Rational numbers. But the denominator must not be 0. So both q and p, they are integers. Then another one is irrational. Irrational is totally different from all the set of numbers we mentioned earlier. So irrational is different in the sense that, unlike rational number, let me just go back to rational. Irrational number can be expressed as a number or as a decimal number that has that the decimal part are repeating. What I mean by decimal part of irrational number is repeating is suppose you have a 2.0. I can write this 2.0 as 2.0000000. This 0 is repeating. Sometimes when you divide 10 by 3, 10 divided by 3, you have 3.3333333. You can see that this 3 is repeating. That means that rational has repeating decimal. Or for example, you say 5 divided by 2. That is 2.500. You can see. And note that the decimal must be 1. Must be the same. Not that it's only the same number that is repeated. But one thing about rational is that the pattern of the number after the decimal is the same. Sometimes it may just be 245. 245. maybe you have 1.245, 2.5, you can see that this 245 is repeating, and that is what we mean by it has a repeating decimal. But irrational, which is the topic we want to deal with, the decimal part of irrational numbers are not repeating. They are not repeating. And we have few examples of this. They are not like all these numbers we've mentioned earlier. They are totally different. And that is what we call what? Irrational number. So I can say surds are what? Irrational numbers. And one thing about irrational numbers is that their decimal are not recurring. They are not repeating. So what are the examples of these numbers, since they are not part of all the numbers I mentioned earlier? So the first example is the exponential. The exponential is irrational number. Another example is pi. So examples of an irrational number now: exponential. Another one is pi. So is your pi is not equals to 22/7. This 22/7 is just the approximate value. So in real sense, pi is not equals to 27. So you can check that with your calculator. Press pi, you will see that the decimal after that 3, they are not repeating. But if you try this, 22 divided by 7, you realize that the decimal after 3 are repeating. So meaning 22/7 is rational number. So your pi is not automatically equals to 22/7. So your irrational numbers can be exponential, it can be pi, and the last one is your irrational number examples is also what? They are square root of numbers that are not perfect square. Numbers that are not perfect square. Example of number that is not a perfect square is 5. 5 is not a perfect square. So square root of 5 is a rational number. Square root of 3 is a rational number. Square root of 8 is a rational number. So any number that is not a perfect square, so square root of such number is a rational number. So now the topic, as I said, is surd. So what we consider as surd now are the square root of numbers that are not perfect square. So surds are square root of what? They are square root of, so a rational number is subdivided into 3 now. We have examples I gave in this class, in this lesson. We have exponential, we have the pi, and the square root of numbers that are not perfect square. So that is what simply surd is. So in the next lesson, so we consider the rules of surd and how to work with a irrational number.